What is up, guys and gals? I nearly went into my Let's Play intro, so that's fun. Today we're going to try something a little different, and we're doing a sort of React series as a podcast. I'm Devon, also known as the Rev Plays Games, and with me today is Rick. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Rick. You might know me as the Astarian, or Spillerdoing, or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And we are, well, you may know us from Resonant Rhapsody, you may know us from a bunch of other things, but hopefully you'll know us from this podcast.
Hopefully. So I was thinking, seeing as today's the first episode, before we actually get into the meat of what the podcast will be about, maybe if we do brief... Oh, well, we just did brief little introductions, come to think of it, so there's no real need for that, is there?
Yeah, but we'll give you a little rundown of what the format's going to be. We're going to be watching episodes of things, giving some live reactions, and we'll pop up a little timestamp of where we are in the episode. So if you want to watch along with us, you can do, and you can sync up without incurring the wrath of the algorithm.
That is provided you're watching the YouTube version, because predominantly this is going to be an audio sort of thing, so it will be on SoundCloud before on YouTube, because that's quicker to edit.
Sure. But well, yeah, we will also give a audio cue to go for sound-based people.
I mean, I think it's worth saying that me and Rick aren't in the same room right now for more than obvious reasons, but beside that, we're also in different parts of the country. So we're going to need to sync our own viewing, so you can always sync along while we sync our own. If you're listening to the audio version, of course.
Even when offline collabs are open again, then we won't be doing them very often.
No, if at all, really.
Yeah.
I think I've visited Rick in the flesh once, and he's visited me twice.
Yep.
So yeah, that's good. Shall we? Oh, have we said what we're doing today?
We haven't. So today is our first episode, and we are reviewing episode 1 and 2 of Steven Universe.
Yes.
The original series, not the sequel series that came out more recently.
Yeah, which I didn't know fucking existed. So for what it's worth, out of the two of us, Rick certainly is more informed about Steven Universe than I am. I've bounced in and out. I've seen episodes here and there, but I have no idea of the cohesive overall narrative. So Rick will probably be able to provide more insight as to where things are going to go once we finish.
Yeah. But yeah, I've seen the series. I've definitely seen the recent stuff as well. I picked the series up end of season 1, and then pretty much kept up to date with it since then, and up till when it ended, I believe middle of last year. But yeah, shall we get going with the...
We can do, yes. Shall we sync up our videos?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Currently I'm bang on 0, I'm going to assume you are as well.
Yeah, also on bang on 0. So, 3, 2, 1, and go!
Alright, we're playing, the intro's on. I've got a soft spot in my heart for this little jingle.
Yeah, good old Connie. Yeah, during season 1, Connie kind of wasn't a thing very much. So her showing up in the opening credits is like a kind of a nod to the fact that she's going to be important later.
Isn't she eventually become the love interest?
Yeah, she absolutely does.
Because I've been in and out of the series, like back now in the beginning, it's very less fantastical, if I remember rightly, and more mundane.
Yeah, usually. But even as early as episode 2, they're doing a lot of space things.
Space, wanna go to space?
Border space. Magic belly button.
It's a good way of introducing the main character's quirk.
Yeah. Having someone make fun of it.
Yeah. I love it. How old is Stephen meant to be? Like 10?
Yeah, around 10.
Why?
I think he starts out as 10 and then just as the series go on, they just actually properly age him up, and as he gets character development, it's like tied into him having birthdays and all that.
Right, I got you. What the fuck?
Yep.
I've seen these things pop up in later episodes. I didn't know they were around since episode 1.
Yep. In fact, I think it's because it was the one that was in episode 1 that is why they bring specifically that design back.
Ah. Fair.
Otherwise, it would have just been,
random shit.
Yeah.
That picture of fucking Moon Knight chucking a bunch of stuff, like random bullshit, go.
Yeah.
Very,
like,
sorry, go on.
Specifically, these guys obviously show up later in the series. But yeah, no matter which one it was, would be the one that shows up later. So even if it wasn't these guys, it would be this role that would be filled.
Jesus Christ. That was rather abrupt.
Yep. Not cool.
I love very typical first episode. Everyone's predominant character trait has already been established.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a standard way of introducing people, but like it's very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Give someone an establishing character moment really early on.
Does Cookie Cat actually have deep lore, or is this Stephen being a child and making shit up?
I think he's reciting an advert.
Well, that's what I meant. In universe, does the Cookie Bar have lore?
I think that's pretty much the extent of the lore. Is what you hear from Stephen reciting the ad.
Fair enough, as children do.
Yeah. Oh, and now he's got a magic belly button glow.
Dude, this is a non too subtle nod at fucking puberty in general, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
My body's secreting things and I don't know why, and the parents are like, what do we tell him?
And then he says to the ladies, I was really close that time.
Oh no. Why does Pearl sometimes wear a little tutu type thing?
Okay, so you might be... Yeah, so the tutu that she's got on right now is just her current design.
Ah, okay.
You might be remembering her design from later on in the show.
No, I was talking specifically about that, because I swear she didn't have that on a scene ago.
Okay, so it might be just part of... It might just be her idea of what she's meant to look like at that moment.
Alright, you said something about this before with the weird shape-shifting type of abilities.
Yeah. So Amethyst is the one that's the most open to shape-shifting as and when. When they poof, which is when their physical forms get destroyed, they reform an amount of time later. Amethyst does it pretty quickly because she doesn't care. Pearl takes like 2 months because she wants it to be perfect.
For what it's worth, I personally like the somewhat messy design of Amethyst.
Yeah, totally.
That was almost anime-esque with that little cutaway.
Yep, yep.
Dude, they sometimes do weird things with the characters' lips because they're the same color as their skin. They just look odd.
Yeah.
Like right now with Garnet and with Amethyst a second ago, that it just don't look right.
Yeah, sometimes it does make him look like they've got a bit of a mustache.
It's not even. It doesn't look like anything is the problem to me.
Yeah. Especially with Yellow Diamond later on, it definitely looks like she's got a mustache half the time.
Well, that was one of the big ladies in that image you sent me, right?
Yeah, one of the three big ladies. And judging from the name and the color, she's the yellow one.
It's weird because I'm going to assume it's because this is going to sound mildly racist, but it's not. I'm going to assume it's because she's white that Pearl just is never given lips.
Maybe.
Like, even in this scene, everyone has lips except Pearl and, Steven, but he's talking, so.
Yeah.
Oh, is this his first forming
Greg
of the shield?
Doesn't have lips. Yeah, Greg doesn't have lips. Connie doesn't have lips. And Connie's meant to be Indian, so.
Oh, I'm aware. Well. Yeah. When did this come out, anyways, the first episode of Steven Universe?
I think like 2014.
Damn, that's older than I thought it was.
I'm gonna do a quick Google.
Oh, the loudness of your typing.
Yeah, it just adds to the adds to the authenticity. Apparently in May 2013.
Jesus.
Final episode was in 2019.
It's a good run.
Yeah. Don't know whether that includes Steven Universe Future.
Don't worry about it right now. Let's just continue to enjoy the episode. Right, we'll have a bit of downtime between this and episode 2. We can sort of check that shit out then.
Yep. But yeah, like, even from now, you've got gem monsters.
Mm-hmm. Like, I vaguely recall watching an episode where Stephen frees Lapis.
Yeah.
And, like, the reason they don't want her is because they think she's going to be a gem monster. Or I could be misremembering. Like, it's been a fucking long time.
Yeah, so when they first find Lapis, she's got a crack in a gem.
Right.
And one of Steven's powers that he awakens early on is healing spit. And
oh man, Steven's so OP. He gets to be a tank and a healer.
Yeah. And later on, he gets to be a DPS as well.
Oh, dude, I remember playing a while ago for my channel, like Cartoon Network Battle Crashes or something like that.
Yeah.
And his super ability was he whipped a fucking cannon out of nowhere and just fucking obliterated the screen. So I assume that's what you mean by being a DPS. Oh no, he's lost his ice creams.
Yeah, he's lost his ice creams that he's only just obtained in this very episode.
But is this where he learns that he gets his shield by big bursts of emotion?
Yeah. Or something along those lines.
Oh no, fuck that, he's just going to electrocute the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do that like 5 minutes ago?
Because they were running away from the thing that was made of acid.
But they were hiding behind a rock for quite a while.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't know what it is about spears. I just like... I like them. Glad one of them has a spear.
Yep. One of the fun things that happens is when they do fusions, they combine the weapons.
Oh, okay.
So, like, when Pearl with a spear and Garnet with the knuckles combine, the knuckles go at the end of the spear and it becomes a massive fucking hammer.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense than what I was picturing.
Yep. And Amethyst whip plus Garnet's knuckles the knuckles go at the end of the whip and they turn into a big old flail.
Okay, that also makes sense, which, like, visualizing fists being attached to anything is a bit difficult to do. By the way, guys, we're on the end credits, so I'm just going to close this now. Oh, well, it's done.
Yeah, it closed itself on its own accord. But yeah, so that was the very, very first episode.
It very much feels like it, because everything's about establishing characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, they don't introduce very many long-term things, apart from things that we don't know are going to be long-term until they come back later.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole centipede gem monsters.
Mm.
We don't know that they're going to be important until,
Till they are.
later on. Yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, by the way, we're just taking a very quick break between episodes just to have a minor discussion so we don't backload this podcast. I'm surprised we didn't get Greg in the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, he shows up in the credits, I believe.
Does he?
But yeah, that's...
I was watching the credits and it just seemed to be backdrops, but I was also kind of paying attention to the names.
Oh, wait, no, I believe it's only episode... It's, I think it's season 2 when he starts appearing in the credits.
Right.
I'm just so used to the season 2 and onwards opening that, like, just seeing the season 1 opening is just weird to me, because, like, the season 2 and onwards one is the one that they used for pretty much the entire series.
I get you.
And, like, out of however many, close to 100 episodes, like, 160 episodes.
Jesus.
Yeah, like, the vast majority of them were using the one that I'm used to.
I'll give Steven Universe a bit of credit, because I can't think of many because there's a lot of cartoons, especially for Cartoon Network, that came out around that time. I don't think many of them lasted that long. Like, I feel like they got like 3 or 4 seasons or something out of most of them, and maybe you had like 16 episodes a season. Like, yeah, that's quite impressive for a cartoon.
Another thing that's interesting about it is because the opening credits are so short, it feels like one of the ones that you very rarely skip.
Yeah, yeah. If I was watching these back to back, I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
Also, it does help that every other episode doesn't have the theme tune, because it's technically part of the same episode.
Yeah, because if you're watching it live, then you're probably watching it with ads in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's the magical thing about Steven Universe, is when I first watched the episodes that I caught, it was before I'd moved on to streaming content. Like, this is, well, if you say what you say is correct and it's 2013, that was what, 8 years ago? Damn near, anyway. Like, I would have been 20. I would have still been in college, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Spoiler about my age. But, like, I was still watching TV. I wasn't really streaming shit. Like, so the way I was exposed to this particular show was it would just be on. Like, I like cartoons a lot, guys, and maybe speaks to my immaturity from some people's point of view, but fuck them. If you like what you like, watch what you like. Fuck what other people think. You'll find someone who enjoys the same shit. But yeah, it was just catching episodes whenever they happened to be on, usually in the background while I was doing coursework.
Yep. Wasn't this also the way that you found the Uncle Grandpa
crossover
episode?
Yes. Oh god, I stopped everything I was doing because I was like, what the? Because I don't like Uncle Grandpa. I think it's silly, but it's clearly aimed at kids, so that's fine. But when I saw it, the crossover with Steven Universe, I was like, how the fuck does this make sense? And the answer is, it doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't, and it's not meant to.
Yeah. And the best part of the episode, and I've told Rick this before because I don't think you've actually seen the episode, is the entire way through, everyone kind of accepts the nonsense, except Pearl, who is freaking the fuck out constantly about dimension rifts and how this shouldn't be happening. I don't even know if the episode's classed as canon or not. That's how bizarre it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are some weird episodes. that are very definitely story time episodes.
Yeah.
And they're framed as such, but like, yeah, I don't know if the Uncle Grandpa episode is classed as a real thing that happened.
I'm going to assume that it's not canon and it's just there for dumb fun.
Yeah, because it was an Uncle Grandpa episode and not a Steven Universe episode.
No, it had the Steven Universe opening credits, my dude.
Did it? Okay.
Unless I'm poorly misremembering, which is entirely possible. It was a while ago.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because it was predominantly Steven Universe, it just had Uncle Grandpa bursting into the episode at a random point. I think for the first 3 minutes, it was a fairly standard Steven Universe affair. Which, considering the time, the length of these episodes, like 3 minutes is almost fucking half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
But yeah, I guess we should move on to the next.
Sure.
So hopefully, if my YouTube editing skills, because I won't need to do much here for the audio version, are good enough, I will have put up another timer now. Yep. And ready to count. Do you want to count us in, Rick?
Yeah, episode 2 is about to start in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Very nice. Laser Knight Ganon, did that say?
Laser Light Cannon.
That makes way more sense. I thought we were going to give it Legend of Zelda shit. Zelda?
Yep. Give him the bits.
What the fuck are the bits?
Fry bits.
Oh.
Which, they sound a bit dodgy.
They look a bit dodgy, bro.
When you realise...
Oh, it's literally just the dregs from the fucking fryer.
Yep.
Oh, that's foul. Of course Amethyst is into it. Go on, sorry.
And yet, it's one of those things that the longer they're fried and the more dregsy they are, the more delicious they become.
Oh, no, that sounds wrong. That was a little bit of a dirty joke. I wasn't expecting. I guess that is just Pearl's design, because she's got the fucking dress on here as well.
Yeah, she's got the tutu in season 1, I guess.
Her face is also a little bit off to what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's just early season weirdness with certain designs.
Yeah, because they're still trying to find their footing, I suppose.
Yeah. She looks a little bit more like certain townies, actually.
Certain town? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So, some people adore the townies. Some people hate them.
Okay.
Some people are kind of in between. Yeah, no, they're name dropping Rose Quartz. That's Steven's mum.
See, I've seen enough to infer that, but they never explicitly said it in episodes I've seen. It's one of those weird things where it's easy to pick up that knowledge if you watch enough, even though they don't explicitly say it very often. That's Amethyst saying that as well. Dude, I remember a really weird fucking episode later on where it's kind of implied, well, not even, very explicitly implied that there's a series of time when Rose Quartz leaves where Amethyst sort of changes herself to look like Rose Quartz and has a thing with Greg.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it makes me feel weird watching it, and I'm okay with watching weird stuff.
Yeah. Partially one of the worst things about that is that because Amethyst is very definitely the youngest gem.
Is she?
Well, other than Steven.
Well,
it's like she was born on Earth.
Yeah, but by human standards.
Yeah, by human standards, she's ridiculously old. But by gem standards, like she's the youngest of the. She's definitely the youngest of the crystal gems.
Right, I got you. It's one of those weird things where, like, I don't actually know what's classed as mature for a gem, so that could be even weirder, like you're saying. But it also might be like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it's possible that Peridot is actually younger, but like it also kind of doesn't matter because
she's from space.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a running gag the entire episode? Just Amethyst constantly banging her head against that thing?
Yeah.
Great.
Looks like it.
I also remember an episode where Greg doesn't sue someone, but claims the rights to his song, and suddenly becomes a millionaire for like a day before pissing all the money away.
Oh, he stays a millionaire apparently. So he gets given the rights to his song by his old manager.
Huh.
Like, the manager comes back to the town and just hands him an envelope and says, "Here, never let it be said I never did anything for you," and then just fucks off for the rest of the series. But that basically makes Greg into a multi-millionaire for the rest of the series, which just like solves a bunch of issues with pacing and having money.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's hard to manage certain aspects with Greg being essentially a bum. There's just a regular fucking Tarzan spear.
Yep. But the thing is, like, he also keeps his car wash open because he doesn't know how not to work.
There's a lot of people like that. Like, the example I'll go to is Ozzy Osbourne, who everyone says, "Oh, you should stop singing now. You can rest on your laurels." And Ozzy Osbourne has said multiple times, when his dad stopped working, he died.
Yeah.
So Ozzy Osbourne doesn't want to stop working because he thinks if he stops working, he'll die.
Yeah.
And that's a fucked up fear to live with. But
it is.
But, it's totally, you can see why someone might think like that.
Yeah, you can very definitely see where the complex comes from. Yeah, absolutely. It's not rocket surgery.
I love that fucking mismatch of idioms.
Like, brain science, it's kind of a normal thing, but rocket surgery is very definitely a thing that you meshed up.
Dude, he's got some really weird shit.
Yeah, he's got Ares' helmet.
And it looked like he had there's our first image of Rose Quartz, eh?
Yep.
There's a fucking Super Mario mushroom.
A Mario mushroom.
Over to the left, it looked like they had an owl of Athena when we had... well, they're just gone now. I like his sort of Homer Simpson-esque mouth muzzle beard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, this is a bad plan. How? Yep. Oh, cartoon, that's why, but still.
Yeah, cartoon physics. I think it's a standard Cartoon Network dad logic of it's the same voice actor who's also Finn's dad.
Oh, the actual bum.
Yeah.
Dude, I felt so bad for Finn. Dude, Adventure Time might not be a bad one to add to this series at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, especially if we do revisitings, then the new Adventure Time specials are also worth watching.
Well, I've not seen them, so...
Sure. That's another one to tick off on the thingy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's not great, is it? I like how Greg kind of knows it's sort of... Like, don't get me wrong, the beat's good, but the lyrics are a bit lacking.
Yeah, like, Greg knows it's not all that, but Stephen thinks it's awesome, which is actually kind of wholesome.
Amethyst got fucked. So this is the first... I'm glad Greg is not instantly written off as being useless. Like, I know the first mention of him is like, well, he's not that great, but like, if you ask him to do something, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Which I think's an admirable trait.
And not only does he do it, he does it to the backdrop of himself singing, "I know I'm not that great."
Yeah. How the fuck does that work? By the way, I've not seen the whole thing. Is Rose Quartz actually dead? Because that's what I feel like the implication's always been.
Pretty much. Right. So they have one gem between the two of them. Stephen has the gem, and as long as he has it, Rose Quartz can't come back. And
dude, that's fucked.
She's been gone for so long that she just ain't coming back.
Oh.
We don't know how, but she basically shapeshifted herself enough human parts to make a human bit.
Right. Yeah.
Again, we don't know how. We only know why because she was curious.
Listen,
to see if it'd work.
I'm absolutely sure that if you dig around on the internet enough, someone's drawn it.
Oh yeah, multiple times. I mean, this fandom is in depth enough that I'm pretty sure someone's animated it.
Jesus Christ! Speaking of animation, that was a rather nice looking cannon shot.
Yeah.
So, I assume they don't pull that out very often, but that's a pretty easy Deus Ex Machina to just solve problems going forward if they so wish.
Yep.
Unless it gets crushed by a rock right now.
I'm half expecting it to get crushed in the next 15 seconds because I don't exactly remember it getting used very often at all. Yeah.
That's another thing as well. Like, you don't get very emotional men in cartoons or media in general.
Yeah, well, it's the standard thing of the Steven Universe drinking game is if you take a shot whenever someone cries, you will have a kidney failure.
Oh, surely not from one episode, though. But yeah, that's credits, by the way, and they appear to be drawing clothes on the statue's hand.
Yep, they are.
And rather funnily, they're all the same design of shirt for Steven.
Yeah, they all are. I think he only has one design of shirt in. Even when he upgrades his shirt to a different color, it's just the same design but with the different color.
Well, that's fucking cartoon logic right there. Everyone gets one outfit. Fuck you.
Yep.
But yeah. So yeah, that's episode 2. That's all we're going to cover today. But like that doesn't mean we're finished. We're still gonna continue the conversation. Just for the people who are listening as opposed to watching, that's the end of actual active watching.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like shit, I don't mind watching more Steven Universe for this thing because it's quite easy to just shoot the shit over.
Yeah, and it's very digestible. We might jump around, like maybe jump forward a bit. Since I've seen most, if not all of it, then I might be able to cherry pick some interesting parts from the series to pick as ones to react to rather than just going episode 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Absolutely, sure. Like, I've not seen very key episodes. Like, I know the information about Peridot because I've seen Peridot enough. I've never actually seen her first episode that she appears in.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Jasper's first appearance because
yeah,
I remember watching that because I messaged you saying, "What's the deal with Jasper? She looks like." And apologies if I offend anyone, because I'm sure someone might get offended by this comment. But she looks like the most stereotypical butch lesbian I've ever fucking seen.
She is absolutely a bulldog.
I'm into that shit, but I don't know how to delicately phrase that.
Yeah, there's it's actually a plot point later on that.
Well, here's this weird thing because I hang around certain subreddits. Which are more adult in nature, shall we say. And there's quite a few discussion threads from time to time, and one of the things that I've learnt, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, so I'll appreciate you confirming or denying this, is that apparently she was in a rather abusive relationship with Lapis, where she was the abusive one.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
So, Fusion is semi-sexual.
Well, semi-sexual.
Okay. It's okay, so it's intended for between members of the same gem cut. So Ruby plus Ruby equals bigger Ruby, and then it's basically masturbation at that point. It's just
isn't Garnet like Ruby and a Sapphire?
Yes, and she's the first cross gem fusion that, in terms of what people know about. And Rose runs into Garnet when she's essentially just been born and is like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you could do that. This is awesome. This is amazing. You must join us." And yeah, we see other fusions later on chronologically, but probably earlier, actually in the in series runtime.
I get you.
Obviously not counting Garnet because it's kind of a spoiler that she's a fusion, but like by this point everyone knows it. But yeah, let's think. But yeah, because fusion is like semi-sexual, like between Ruby and Sapphire, it's an actual relationship, which is why they can stay together for so long.
Well, she's basically perma-fused.
Yeah. They only defuse when they become like so upset that they can't reconcile themselves with one another and they can't deal with emotions, or when they really definitely need to be separate for a specific task.
Like being prisoners of war.
Yeah. Like sometimes they are like forcibly separated. And if Garnet gets poofed, then she poofs into 2 gems rather than 1 combined gem.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you can even see the 2 gems on her fists, like there's 1 on each fist.
I've never actually noticed that.
Yeah, so when she holds out her palms, the gems are on her palm.
See, I honestly don't pay that much attention, is what I'm learning. That's some.
But yeah, it's fine. It's one of those things that you wouldn't think to look unless you knew. Like Pearl's obviously is on her head.
I don't know where Amethyst's
is. It's in the middle of her chest.
Oh, so that's why you don't get to see it.
Yeah. She normally keeps that bare. So even if she's wearing a t-shirt or tank top or whatever, she normally cuts a hole in it so the gem is visible.
I wonder if it's like it's like it's a hot sweaty day and you're just like, I just need to let the bits breathe. I don't know.
Maybe.
People who care more about this, like people who, I stumbled over my words there. People who care more about this franchise than I do have no doubt written theses on the applicability of how sweaty a gem gets.
Sweaty gem thesis.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That sounds dirty, doesn't it?
It does. Man, that's going to be the clip of the day. Sweaty gem thesis.
I'm sure if you type that into Google, you'll get some weird porn. No, wait, Bing. Bing seems more okay with that sort of shit.
Sweaty gem thesis.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Either you're going to get porn or you're going to get a fucking 200-page Word document on the theory of how gems sweat.
Okay, so the first result is someone saying, my thesis was written in blood. And the third result is the Valley of Shit.
Don't click that. Don't.
I'm not clicking either of those.
Oh, the marvels of the internet. How did we make do without you?
Oh, okay. The my thesis was written in blood is short for my thesis was written in blood, sweat, tears, and coffee.
I think a lot of people can probably relate to that if they've ever done a thesis.
Yeah, I mean, that's just schoolwork at this point, really, isn't it? It's just the case of if you are old enough to drink coffee, then it's all 4 of them. If you're not old enough to drink coffee, then it's probably still all 4 of them, but you just didn't tell your dad.
I think I dodged a bullet with coffee because the first time I tried it, I was like, this is bitter and horrible, why would you drink it? So instead, I'm addicted to Coca-Cola.
Yep. Good old Coca-Cola.
They do not sponsor this podcast.
Well, neither did Monster Energy Drink or any of the knockoffs thereof, like Kong Strong.
Dude, that's the fucking Lidl brand. It is pretty good.
Well, in terms of off-brands, yeah. Lidl and Aldi are both pretty good at them.
The first time I tried Kong Strong was because I saw the can, I saw a monkey, and it said Kong Strong, and I went, that pun is good enough for me to try you, sir. It tastes like shit, but it does the job.
Yep. The one that I enjoy is Red Bull has the Asda knockoff of Blue Charge. Blue Charge is signified by a rhino.
Of course.
And it is bottled in Leeds.
Bottled energy drinks.
Well, bottled, canned, whatever.
Okay.
It's produced in Leeds. Anybody who knows about rugby will know that Leeds is where the Rhinos are.
Ah, that explains it.
Who, back in the day, back when Bradford used to matter, were rivals of the Bradford Bulls. So Leeds Rhinos and Blue Charge versus Bradford Bulls and Red Bull. And then obviously the Bradford Bulls became less and less important and eventually went out of business twice.
I mean, I'm just picturing fans in a rugby stadium at the end of a match grabbing various empty cans of energy drink and just lobbing them at the other side.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's exactly why you can't have cans. You can have an open cup, but you can't have a can, because a can is lobbable, whereas a cup is kind of... If you lob the cup, then most of the fluid is going to fall out of it by the time it gets to the pit.
Mm-hmm. That's true enough. Anyway, moving on. Expect this going forward, by the way, guys. The basic premise is going to be like quick intro, reaction, outro / random bollocks. So yeah, this has been our debut episode of Yet Unnamed Podcast, which I'm sure we'll brainstorm a name after we finish recording. And expect, schedules permitting, an episode a week.
Yeah, absolutely. What we can also do is we are going to be alternating between animated and live action reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a one-to-one alternation, but we're definitely going to try and do a decent mix thereof.
I'll also put it this way as well. Assuming this gets popular, which fingers crossed, I don't know. We'll think about actually releasing a schedule beforehand, so you can kind of guess what to expect, so you're not going in completely blind every week. But
yeah.
As of now, we'll basically be planning stuff off the cuff and doing what we feel like. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Devon saying goodbye, and I hope you have a lovely, wonderful rest of your day.
And this is Rick saying sod off.
Not quite the two Ronnies, but it'll do. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all again real soon.
Yeah, nighty night.